This is your first official look at the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, which we expect to be announced in January at its annual Unpacked event. We've already shown off the Galaxy S26 and Galaxy S26 Edge, and now here is the Ultra. Not much has changed this year. We're still sticking with a flat display with a centered camera on the front. Bezels are going to be uniform and even thinner than they were on the S25 Ultra. However, Samsung has made the corners a bit more rounded this time around, so that it's more comfortable to hold in the hand. Now the camera island is getting bigger this year. We're expecting it to be about 4.5 millimeters thicker than the rest of the phone, which will be about 7.9 millimeters thick. That is going to be a bit thinner than last year's Galaxy S25 Ultra, which was 8.2 millimeters. So we're looking at about 0.3 millimeters being shaved off of the device as a whole. Now under the hood, we aren't expecting many surprises here with the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy powering the device. The Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 was announced just last week in Maui, and it did show some pretty impressive benchmark numbers. But this might not be the only processor Samsung uses for the Galaxy S26 Ultra this year. We could also see it using the Exynos 2600 in some regions, specifically Europe. Samsung has done this dual chip approach in the past, but it hasn't done it in the last few years. But we could see it returning once again this year. Now it should come with up to 16 gigabytes of RAM and up to 1 terabyte of storage as well. Now the cameras could actually see a downgrade this year, specifically on that 3x camera, which should end up being a 10 megapixel Sony IMX754, which would actually be smaller than the Galaxy S25 Ultra has, while the primary, ultra-wide, and 5x telephoto would all remain the same. Now on the battery front, it'll remain at 5000 mAh once again, which is unfortunate as we've had this same size battery for many years now, and we're seeing other smartphones launching with much larger batteries, even here in the US. But charging should also be increased to about 60 watt wired. Now while that does sound pretty slow compared to the likes of like OnePlus and some of the other Chinese OEMs, keep in mind that those are charging over USB-A, whereas Samsung is using USB-C PD and PPS, which means you can use any USB-C charger to get this full 60 watt wired charging. It'll also have 25 watt wireless charging thanks to Qi 2, which currently only the Pixel 10 Pro XL has. So that is the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. Now if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.